If you have a lot of bells and whistles, then one day you will have a problem with them. That means if you have self-propel on your lawnmower, don't be surprised if you have problems with it, which can be a real pain to fix. The most common problem is of course failure of the drive system, which typically turns out to be a belt problem. But what happens when the drive system works, but it seems to be weaker than it should be? What are you supposed to do then? In today's video, we're going to be looking at this Toro lawnmower. And there are two problems with it, both seem to be related to the self-propel system. Now the first problem is that it's really tough to push this mower while the drive wheels are on the ground. And the second problem is that the self-propel seems to be very weak, making you have to push really hard to use it. Now if you've been watching for a while, you might recognize this mower as the one we had to replace the bad camshaft on. That was about 9 months ago, so it's surprising to see that it's got a self-propel problem, which is very unexpected. I've seen these personal pace systems last for years without any kind of service, so this will be a bit of trial and error to figure out. Next, I want to show you what it's doing, but this will be tough to do since it'll be hard to show you how tough it is to push. But if I had to describe it to you, I'd say I'm having to push at least twice as hard as I would normally need to. But of course, this is not a push mower, and we better start the engine and try out the self-propel to confirm the second complaint about it. So what you just saw was a very weak self-propel that didn't seem to help at all motivating this mower along the ground. In fact, there was almost no difference with the drive activated, which means there was something very wrong with this system. Now this system is based on a drive belt that's under tension when activated, which means the more tension there is, the more power gets sent to the wheels. Now you can adjust the tension on the system to make up for any wear on the components, but we've already tried adjusting it with no success. So my first thought was that one or more of the wheels was tough to spin, but the problem is that we've already serviced them less than a year ago. And even though I would always recommend servicing them every year, they should still spin quite well. Besides that, we did try servicing them in the shorts video, which didn't seem to do much of anything. So we finally found the one wheel that's putting up a fight, and that's the left rear drive wheel. Now we did try clean and lubricating the support bearings on the mower deck, but I don't think that's the problem here. And instead, I think it has to do with the transmission itself, but to find out, we need to take it out to be sure. Remember me saying it'll be difficult to explain how tough it is to push this mower? Well, here's one way to show you. So for this first test, we'll pull on the mower and get a reading, which turns out to be an amazing 6.9 pounds, which is much too high. So what should the reading be then? Well, a typical reading should be less than half of that amount. And even when pushing on the mower, the reading is even higher at 7.5 pounds, which confirms that there's something very wrong here. This is when we have to decide on what to do here, which is to either bypass the drive system, or try and figure out what's wrong with it and then try and fix it without having to pay an arm and a leg for it. How about this? You can fix whatever's wrong with this mower, but you might need a lot of money to do it. And since most consumers aren't making millions of dollars a year, it's best if we work with a budget here. Now because most of us seem to have more time than money, the least we can do is take out the transmission and inspect it the best we can. And what we're looking for is any obvious problems with it, and then we'll decide what to do, and if we decide to replace it, then at least the old one will be out of the way. Now to be honest, taking out the transmission is pretty easy when compared to some other models, but if you've never done this before, take your time and stay organized. You'll want to keep all the parts you take off the mower in order, that way you can put them back on in reverse order. The same thing goes for the nuts and bolts. Group them together in clusters for the part it came off of, and place them in order of how they came off the mower. This keeps you from having to trust your memory, and also filming the process doesn't hurt either. Making this process easier will only benefit you, so do whatever you need to do to help out. This process is of course the same if you need to replace the drive belt on your mower. The only difference is that you won't have to take out the transmission, you'll only need to pivot it to get access to the plate that keeps the belt from coming off the pulley. This is also the process to get access to the self-propelled cable, just in case yours is broken and you need to replace that part too. And as of right now, that cable is priced at about $8, but they do sometimes go on sale for a lot less. Now the drive cable is also surprisingly cheap at the same price as the cable, which goes to show you just how popular this model is to restore. So here's where I run into a bit of trouble, and that is trying to pull out the long drive shaft from its support. I'm not quite sure why it didn't want to just slide out of the support because there's nothing keeping it there. So I did have to get a bit forceful with it and tapped on the shaft with a piece of wood. Try not to use a hammer as you could mushroom the end of the shaft, which will cause you even more problems later on. And after a bit of tapping, it finally dropped out of that support. That means with the transmission gone, we can see just how bad the bearings are. But just as we thought, those bearings are not stuck at all and spin quite well, but we might as well service them again since there's no resistance from the transmission. Now before we add our lubricant to it, we'll clean it first with some brake cleaner, then let it dry out, and then add some lube to it. Now the support on the right side was in great shape, but what about the one on the bad side? But to be honest, it's only a tiny bit worse than the good side, which means it's not the cause of our problem either. But of course, we'll service it along with the other side with some thin lubricant. However, I decided to switch over to something a little bit better just in case. We probably didn't need to go this far, but we might not have this chance again, so we'll take it now. Now these are not what I would call a quality bearing, but it did have some kind of seal on it to protect it. One of the seals came off the other bearing, but it was still on this one, so we'll just pry it loose before applying our grease to it. And after we apply it and spin the bearing to work the grease into it, we'll put the seal back into place. So if the problem is not with the wheel or the bearing supports, then the problem has to be with the transmission then. But here's the thing, I've never seen a problem with one of the rear-wheel drive units, and instead it's mostly with the front-wheel drive ones. But for some reason, this one is not wanting to work smoothly like it's supposed to, and when turning the pulley, it's much tougher than it should be. What this is telling me is that there's something not right inside the housing, but I don't think it's broken though. But to be positively sure, we'll need to separate the housings. However, if we do this, we'll break the seal, which will take a long time to reseal. So what's the plan then? Well, you're not going to like it, but my belief is that the lubricant inside the case is all dried up. And if it is, I intend on adding some oil to it, but to find out, I'll be drilling an inspection hole into the top of the case. And once that hole is there, we'll then tip the case upside down and see what comes out of it. We'll just be as careful as possible, trying to keep any of the plastics from making it inside the case, but after tipping it over, come to find out, nothing came out. Now, some of you are going to tell me that there is grease in there, but it's not just going to roll out of that tiny hole we just made. But the problem is that the last plastic transmission I opened up from Toro, which looked exactly like this one, was filled with oil. The other problem was that the sealer they used was very strong and almost caused me to damage the housings trying to separate them. It then took quite a bit of cleaning to get rid of the old sealer, and then took 2 days for my sealer to set up before reinstalling the trans back into the mower. And that's the main reason why I don't want to open up this one. Now the last one had a major problem inside it, so we didn't have a choice but to open it up. Now I did have to make that opening just a bit bigger because it was taking too long to get a good amount of oil into the case. But in the end, we probably added about 3 ounces of oil to the case, which was about the amount we put into the last one we serviced. But if you were questioning if this shortcut was a terrible idea, all you have to do is work the pulley and you'll notice that it's now 10 times easier to spin. Not only that, but the drive shafts are also easier to spin, which should make pushing the mower around without the drive working a lot easier to do. Now to find out, we need to put it back into the mower, reconnect everything, and see what it really does. But with the improvement on how the transmission seems to be working, I have no doubt the mower will be much easier to use. But what if you're not comfortable with doing what I did by adding oil to the case? Well, if that is the situation, I would recommend replacing the transmission, but I will let you know it's not going to be cheap. The last time I saw this particular transmission for sale, it was about $60, which most consumers are not going to pay for. But if you have to pay someone else to do all the work for you, then the cost could be more than what this mower is worth. But how about this? If you think the transmission is the problem, then adding some extra oil to the case won't hurt it any more than it already is. And to be honest, if I were to run into this problem again, I would not take the transmission out, but instead try adding oil to it while it's still in the mower. You'll just have to rotate the top of the case away from the mowing deck to get better access to it. This, however, would also be a great time to clean that drive cable, but this one is in fantastic condition. Now that the transmission is back on the mowing deck, we'll try spinning the bad side by using the gear. And just as expected, even after it's been installed, it's still much easier to spin when compared to before the addition of the extra oil. Now, if for some reason you don't want to use oil and want to add a thicker type of grease, then you're welcome to. But you do have to be careful because inside this transmission, it has special gears that are made out of plastic, and oil seems to be a much better choice. But it is your mower, and you're welcome to make your own choice, and I'm okay with it. Now, I did explain what happened to this mower with its owner, and they were okay with the choices I made. But of course, the other choice would have made them invest a ton of money into it, which was something they didn't want to do. Now, some consumers would rather pay $100 to $200 in repair costs for a mower they've had for a while, then pay more than $400 for something brand new that may not be as good as their old machine. So here's an important tip. If you're using a power tool to help install these fasteners, make sure to set the clutch so you don't damage anything. Otherwise, if you damage the threads, coming up with a fix might be tough to do. And if you damage too many openings, you might even consider leaving off some of the guards, which is a bad idea. Those guards are supposed to be there for a reason, and without them, you risk damaging the parts they're supposed to protect. And all the guards under this mowing deck are supposed to protect most all of the critical components for the drive system, which is very important to do. And when putting back all the parts we took off, this is when that organization will come into play. You might think this kind of organization might be overkill, but you'd be surprised how many machines I've come across that was missing several parts. But of course, I can understand when someone gives up on a project and then haphazardly throws the machine back together. But sometimes you find out that's not the case at all, and they just lost the parts, but still insisted on putting it back together the best they could. So here's the bad wheel from before, but as you can see, it's spinning a lot better, but to find out if that means the self-propel is working better, we'll need to try it out. I'm not sure if you can tell from the video, but the drive is now working just like it should be. You don't have to push it hard at all now to get it to move like before, so the customer should be very happy with it now. It now takes almost half as much effort as before, and that's what the drive system not helping out. So here comes the tough question: what happened to the lubricant in the transmission? To be honest, I really couldn't tell you what happened, but I do know what I've seen before. However, this one doesn't show the same wear from the others, so I'd just be guessing here. All we know is that after adding some oil to it, it's now working a whole lot better, and we'll see how long this fix will last. Yes, the correct fix for this problem would have been to replace it with a new transmission, but when dealing with the budget, sometimes it's not the only solution. So my question is, would you have done what we did by adding oil to the case, or would you have just opted for a new $60 replacement instead? And keep in mind that this is your opinion, and there are no wrong answers here. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate your time here. Please feel free to ask me any questions about this project or about your own projects, and I hope to see you in the next video.